Welcome, everyone, to Virtue's Brand of Wrestling here on the BigVitoBrand.com. I am Virtue, being joined once again by Rob. What's up, man?
Not much, Virtue. Thanks again for having me back. I know we have some fun Road to WrestleMania things to discuss, so I guess let's get started.
All right. Hey, on Raw last night, Triple H, first of all, he made the Spice Girls relevant again, okay? So he knows what he's doing. Literally, people think they're trolling, right, by making the Spice Girl. When he was reading that, he knew exactly what he was doing.
Absolutely.
And maybe he was trolling Batista because that's how Batista was cutting his promo. So it's now a career-threatening match. Now, I'm going to WrestleMania, okay? It might be 8 hours long. It might be raining. I might have a poncho on. It's like WrestlePalooza, Woodstock. I'm going, and I'm sitting here thinking, what matches am I most excited for? And then we have, which we'll talk about, the WWE Championship match. Daniel Bryan versus, and as we're recording this before SmackDown, we don't know. It's probably going to be Kofi because they leaked an advertisement. But I'm not looking forward to that if it happens. As a matter of fact, all the marks are going Kofi, I'm going to be sitting there. Maybe I'll go get some nachos. Nothing against these guys, but I go to WrestleMania and it costs money, Rob, right? It's not cheap to see larger than life stars, okay? Now, Daniel Bryan, I'm fine with. But to see Kofi in this high profile match, I'm going to be looking around in disbelief if this happens. I'm going to see, and I don't care what Aaron Rift says, Triple H and Batista. Drax versus the Game or whatever, superhero villain. Wouldn't that be cool if Triple H came out with an Infinity Gauntlet on? Now, but he's the baby in this. So what do you think, man? You're the Triple H fan. You like Triple H. You like the Game. Is this game over? That's where I was leading to.
No, it will not be game over. I can't believe that anyway. I mean, that would be really devastating to me as just a person and a fan. But you have to keep in mind, kayfabe-wise, the cerebral assassin always has a plan, and something will come, and he's going to beat Batista, but it's going to be through shenanigans. He's probably going to have some kind of interference, maybe a Randy Orton thing, maybe Ric Flair. Well, I mean, it's WrestleMania. Ric Flair hasn't been on TV in a while. He could have a big feel-good moment at the end of that match. Who knows? But I don't think it's game over. No.
I envisioned Batista coming out with like a Guardians of the Galaxy thing. This would be if WWE got the rights for that for Mania, and then Triple H comes out with an Infinity Gauntlet on. That would be badass so cool. Entrances.
That would be sweet.
I mean, I'm looking forward to like that match, even though some people say, oh, boring, 250-year-old guys. Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins, because it's got Brock Lesnar. I go to WrestleMania. I will go to a stadium to watch professional wrestling to see the superheroes, the larger-than-life guys. That's how it's always been. If I want to go watch two guys wrestle, I'll go to an indie show with 200 people. Like what? When you go to say you went to Mania, what was the biggest WWE show you've ever been to?
I would say I can't remember the pay-per-view. I went to the Invasion pay-per-view in Cleveland like forever ago, with the Alliance or whatever. That was pretty big and that was historical. But when I go to a thing, yeah. But I've been to Raws where I've seen Lesnar, I've seen Undertaker, I've seen Stone Cold, I've seen The Rock. I've seen a lot of these guys, and those are the people. If I'm going to WrestleMania, I want to see the big names. I want to see the big stars because that's the grandest stage of them all. Show me the Immortal Titans.
Do you know why I care so much about the women's match? By the way, it is going on last. They basically announced that. There is no anticipation while we're watching Mania or they're live, wondering what they're going to do as the show goes on. We know that match is going on last. If Ronda Rousey was not in this match, it wouldn't be in the main event. I mean, that's the truth. Nothing against Becky, nothing against Charlotte. She's the daughter of Ric Flair. If Ronda was not in this match, my opinion, it would not be going on last. It would be the Universal title match with Brock. What's your take on that?
Well, I think it's going last because Becky's going over, and that's going to be the big fan feel-good thing, which is why it's probably going to be Lesnar retaining. I think that's going to be the Vince sandwich there. If he'll probably give someone, he's going to give people what they want, and it's probably going to be Kofi versus Daniel Bryan. Regardless of the outcome, the fans will be happy-ish. And then the fans are going to get destroyed with Lesnar and Rollins because he's going to counter that head stomp into an F5. And we're going to have our feel-good moment with Becky. Those are going to be the big title matches at the
See, I think I'm going opposite with you. I think Rollins is going to be the feel-good because I have it in the back of my mind that they put it on Rollins, and then there's going to be, it's not going to be heel face. It's going to be baby Roman. There's going to be some awkwardness with Roman and Seth, and I think that's going to be SummerSlam. I think, honestly, I just think that's where they're going to go with that. Now, with that said, I don't know why I have a gut feeling that Ronda might retain. I just don't know why. I don't really care. To me, it's a win-win because that's a match. I don't care who wins. I don't care who walks away. If everybody's hot for it, if the people are standing, if there was ever a match for a bunch of false finishes and oohs and ahs, this women's triple threat ending WrestleMania would be it. To me, I like Charlotte. I like Becky. I like Ronda for different reasons. So I don't care. I win either way. You know what I mean? I'll be kind of popping either way. Call me a front runner, but I mean, it's wrestling. We know it's a work. What? So I'm opposite. I'm opposite with you on those two matches, but that's kind of cool because we'll see what happens.
We will see what happens. Yeah. Maybe next week I'll give you my WrestleMania predictions, since that'll probably be my time to do that. We'll do a quick 10-second overview of that next week. But no, I think either way, I think it's going to be cool because that's the thing, though. Depending on how they book this, we're going to know how the last match is going to turn out. Do you think Vince would troll with all three matches? Do you think he is that vindictive?
It's possible. Now, we're recording this before SmackDown airs.
Right.
And so right now we know from the advertisement that was leaked on Instagram or wherever that Kofi was billed to go against Daniel Bryan for the WWE title. So assuming that happens, you got the mark pick of Kofi, you have the mark pick of Rollins, and you have the mark pick of Becky. Of the three biggest picks, the Smarks want to go over, it's all three of them. And we talked about this. Do all three go over? We said that was probably very, very unlikely. Does two of the three go over, or just maybe one? Just to get, like you just said, did you just propose none? If Vince McMahon trolled?
Yes.
I can't see. I see that as like a 1% chance. I would have to think somebody had talked Vince into letting at least one of those go over. But I don't know, man. Like I kind of, the position I take, I would think that would be funny as hell because then you would see the internet blow up like we're canceling a network but everybody has said that for the last 2 or 3 years because of bad creative, how boring Raw's been. Right. And I don't think WWE is showing any bleeding of money. They keep showing good financial gains. And of course, then the haters, right? They go to, oh, well, that's only because of the TV deals that they recently landed. That's only because of Saudi Arabia. But, I mean, isn't a business to make money by any means necessary within legal ramifications, right? I mean, the blood money, Saudi Arabia. What do you mean blood money?
Right.
You should be proud that an American company went over there and took money from, suspect people and brings that money over into our economy, right? I mean, why are people bitching about that? You should be happy that Vince McMahon has pulled money from the oil country.
And slowly changing, possibly introducing different ideas into a nation that otherwise would never see them. Absolutely.
I remember Desert Storm, Saudi Arabia was like a country it was good to be in because all the hostility was in Kuwait and Iraq and Iran.
Right.
Now why is Saudi Arabia this horrible country? I mean, I know that they're behind the times with women and certain things, but
yeah, they definitely have some downfalls. But first of all, this is a message too. If you tell me that you're canceling your network or you're not watching WrestleMania, then you were never going to watch it to begin with, or you're lying. So stop throwing the hyperbole out there. All of the data shows that if you are canceling your network, it's because it's your free month. So stop. No one believes that.
Right. Good point. So say that it ends up being Kofi and Bryan. Let's continue on this. What do you think are the the outcomes of this long term? You know, would Kofi actually win? Would New Day get jealous, the other members, and turn on Kofi? You know, what would be the end game? You know, no pun intended that we started the show by talking about game over. Will Triple H lose to Batista and retire from in-ring action? I just want to know. I'm most intrigued by what this end game for Kofi is because, like, we have driven home, he was an injury replacement for Ali, right, who's no longer Mustafa.
Stop that.
Because a month before that, nobody said Kofi should be in the spot. It would be like you and I right now, looking at the roster and picking somebody that nobody would expect to be in the main event and starting a movement. I don't even know who we could
Tyler
pick.
Breeze.
Yeah, Tyler Breeze, Sami Zayn. Say Sami Zayn came back from injury. Like, to me, it would be like you and I are saying Sami Zayn is the next WWE champion now, based on
squashes Lesnar,
or the Universal champion. The fans love the chase, and of course, then I see people talking. Oh, well, it was because when he got that opportunity, he impressed in the gauntlet match. He impressed in the Elimination Chamber match, and now it's so compelling. Okay. You say you liked Kofi all these years. Why all of a sudden now are these fans getting vocal? Just because he was booked stronger. You know what I mean? If you like somebody, start saying he should be in this spot way before they actually attempt to put him in that spot. Because now I call them all out for being front runners themselves because they don't speak up. They didn't like Becky until all of a sudden she's like getting championship matches. You know what I mean?
Until Nia Jax broke her face.
Yeah, I mean, some people out there, you know, they're the ones, oh, we like Becky all along. Okay, well, it's funny that I don't see people liking certain people until they get pushed a little bit harder. What's your take on that? Do you really think wrestling fans, most of them, are front runners?
Absolutely. I'm a Triple H mark for a reason because when I was growing up, this guy won. But to put it your way, yeah, Pete, we've talked about it before, man. People love the chase. Virtue, I mean, every time you see it time and time again, they did it with Ryback. They've done it with so many guys that come up. They want them to get the title. And all of a sudden when they keep getting pushed. Oh, I hate this guy because this new guy did really good at NXT. So I want to see him win now. Yeah, we're sick of you. Go away. So yeah, it's a fickle mindset and it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's not consistent. People want the chase. The chase is the fun. That's what that's what we crave the most is the chase. So if we don't have that, we're not happy.
So explain this. Why and how are they still cheering for Roman? And my guess is, you know, yes, now that he's healthy, there's not that dark cloud of uncertainty over him. So why are people actually buying into this? I know people don't hate McIntyre. Drew McIntyre was kind of like, you know, a lot of people liked him. They wanted to see him do good in NXT and maybe come up and challenge Brock Lesnar for the Universal title. So how is this one-on-one feud working where McIntyre, traditional heel, is drawing organic heel heat and Roman is getting organic babyface heat? Do you think because Roman's not in the big main event scene right now? Like, tell me your take on this. I'm excited for this match, dude. Yeah, I didn't think I was going to see Roman at Mania.
Right.
Now I am.
So it's a couple of things. It's because Drew McIntyre is a great heel and they've done a good job with him. The other thing is now people don't feel like they have to boo Roman Reigns. He's a charismatic and a good worker. Again, I will stick by my statement. I think he has the worst moves in wrestling right now, but he has talent. He has charisma. People no longer have the stigma of, oh, if I cheer him, I'm lame, because people want to see him succeed because, yeah, the guy overcame something big. But since it's no longer just cool to boo him out of the building, people are going to cheer for him. You'll have that mixed Cena reaction probably from here out to the rest of his career.
Yep, and there's that fickle mindset because right now, people are cheering Roman because what is he doing? He's chasing. He's chasing to get back to the main event.
Yeah.
And so I am very intrigued to see how this plays out. Maybe that's why I'm emotionally invested and my mind is saying, and I'm one of those guys that doesn't bet against Lesnar because I know, you know what I mean? They made Roman have to face him so many times before they finally put Roman over at SummerSlam. But it makes me think if Rollins gets that Universal title, because I really think Brock was going to take a break back when Roman won it at SummerSlam, and he came back into the scene because Roman left with leukemia. Mm-hmm. So that's another reason why I'm trying to talk myself into why Rollins might win the Universal title. I actually would like to see this dynamic of the two left. Dean leaves, right? If he does indeed leave, but looks that way. I want to see Roman and Seth for the Universal title and see where it goes from there, man. And maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe Roman turns heel out of all this. Doubtful.
That would be amazing. See, I would love to see Roman turn heel. That's also why I really want Kofi Kingston to win this title. Not because all the marks won it, not because, I mean, he does deserve it, but I'm not on that train. But because of the storyline opportunities you have now, I would love to see Big E turn heel with Xavier managing him and them doing their stuff and Big E just being a monster because he's good on the mic, he's charismatic, and he's a monster. So if they can make him an effective heel, that's a gold ticket all the way to SummerSlam if they book it right.
So not do that to keep Kofi from even winning the title, because wouldn't that give them even more heat? If
that's what I'm saying. Like if he's going to win the title, that would be a great feud for him. But if they cost him the title saying that we're sick of carrying you, you're dead weight, that is a good match that can launch Big E into that top tier main event. And then he could be maybe the next one to fight Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam, something along those lines, because oh my God, Kofi Kingston, if he wins, will be a transitional champion.
Well, I just can't even believe that he might even be champion. And even if it was for like 2 days, even if he won it at Mania and lost it on SmackDown. Here's what worries me about that. They're going back to Saudi Arabia in May, which actually gives us some time. I don't think Bryan wants to go over there. Now, that stuff that happened last year might have got, the time might have healed like some of these wrestlers' thoughts. And so maybe Bryan would go over there this time for the payday. But say he says he doesn't want to, they're taking the title off of him.
Right.
But like, I can't imagine they'd want it on Kofi going over there because they like all the big names. They're going to be like,
didn't they want Yokozuna and some people that were deceased?
An Ultimate Warrior. Yeah.
Right.
But like you put the title on Kofi over there, they're going to be like, Kofi? Who's Kofi? Like I would almost think somehow AJ Styles or Randy Orton would win the title if Bryan lost it. And then
That's a good measuring stick, though. If they wouldn't know who they are in another country, then they probably shouldn't have a title. Is that fair?
That is, I think.
That's the benchmark. I mean, you want your champion to have world recognition to bring more eyes, to bring more money into your product.
I just want to call the next Kofi. Like who is the next one the fans are going to get behind that right now you would be like, are you kidding me? Like say Big E gets a push. Say that Kofi's push fizzles and Big E gets pushed, whether baby or heel. Do you think they jump aboard that bandwagon?
Possibly, or Bray Wyatt. I think Bray Wyatt's almost broken beyond repair unless they do some significant change to his character. If he comes back and starts winning, are people going to say the same things they've said about other people? Like he shoved on our throats, or are people going to be happy for him because he's put his time in and he earned it?
Jim Ross said this a couple of years ago. I think what Bray needs is to be a character babyface. And I think what JR meant by that is that was back when the Wyatts were still supposed to be these, evil Papa Shango-like heels. But now Bray, I think, has kind of become a babyface a little bit because he did that stuff with Matt and Woken, Matt Hardy. So if Bray comes back, I'd like to see him kind of break character a little bit. He could still be called Bray Wyatt like Mick Foley. Mankind became Mick Foley, and you got to see kind of behind the curtain with Mick Foley a little bit. That's what I think needs to happen with Bray.
He got a haircut. He has a new hairstyle.
I think if Bray has that 1998-99 run of Mick Foley, then I think there could be some serious business and people would get behind that. He mentioned Barry Windham, mentioned his dad, like just break the fourth wall. I mean, it works. I think it could be compelling, and I'd like to see that. Luke Harper's still lurking, and I still could really see him join and help Daniel Bryan and join Eric Rowan in this Earth movement with Daniel Bryan. I don't know if Bray would be in that mix. Maybe that's when Bray would come back. I don't think he
should be. Yeah,
but that's when Bray would come back and be a baby against all of those guys. But
for sure,
I see Bryan and Harper maybe helping Bryan keep the title. Maybe that could be the guy that costs Kofi. But
I would love to see that. I think Luke Harper, that's your next Kofi. As soon as he comes back, people are going to be pissed that he's not getting a title match. Everyone loves this guy. He's the next one. It's him.
Dude, I'm still convinced, though, even if Kofi wins the WWE title, it's not a big deal anymore because they treat that title like the Intercontinental title used to be in the 80s and early 90s, which isn't a bad thing because back then that title was awesome. But it wasn't the main title. It was the B title. And that's what the WWE title is to me, no matter who has it right now, unless they put it on like a Roman Reigns or a Seth Rollins or, that's why
I'm a firm believer. I'm on the team of merge the titles, less championships, have the champions go between the rosters, more matchups, more prestige for winning, instead of everyone having these feel-good trophies. Because I feel like some of these people that are champion, I don't even know why they're champion anymore.
They got to merge some of these titles. They got to get rid of the brand split. I don't know. Dude, Saturday Night Live, first of all. You saw that, right, with Braun Strowman in these no-name
I would love
hacks.
to say I didn't see it, but unfortunately I saw it, yes.
Did you see my tweet yesterday? It was a quote like Andre the Giant, like speaking from heaven.
Yeah, I did see
WWE, please remove my name from the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, they really just made a joke and a mockery out of Andre the Giant. Presumably one half of the reason they are where they are today. Him and Hulk Hogan built that company, and they built WrestleMania. And they are disservicing him with this joke of a Battle Royal.
Did Strowman ever win that? No, he never won it. Or did he win it?
I don't see. Yeah, who knows? I don't know. Big Show won.
That'll be their – watch Strowman win it. By somehow these SNL guys will, like, crawl under the ring, and then they'll be the last two in there with Strowman, and that's how he wins it. I mean, this is literally what's going to happen with this match.
Unless his former tag team partner from a few WrestleManias back comes back. What was that kid's name?
Oh, my God, Nicholas.
Nicholas will come down with a chair, a little bit more grown up, take out the SNL guys. Him and Strowman stand tall.
It's ridiculous, dude. But anyway, SmackDown will be coming on in 15 minutes.
That's right.
We will definitely talk about the fallout for the WWE title picture for Mania next week because we do this every Tuesday night. So yeah, man, do your plugs and stuff, Rob, and then I'll let everybody know the other shows you do with me.
Awesome. So I am Rob. You can follow me on Twitter at Xenomecha, Xenomecha. I'm really not doing much right now except for these videos. So I guess just keep following me on Twitter, keep watching the videos. Virtue, there are a few other places that they can see me and you. And where would those places be?
All right. So obviously here on the BigVitoBrand.com on Virtue's Brand of Wrestling. Now, I'm going to try to get you on the No DQ review, right? They're so fickle over there. I want the 5-man panel, so I'm working on it. This might be something that happens after Mania. But every third week, Rob and I also do a video on WrestlingWithWrestling.com called Virtue's Wrestling with Virtue. So I talked about that last week. We actually had nice views when we talked about AEW. Battle in WWE. Then we do a Road to WrestleMania show, and it's like people were disinterested. And I just wonder if it's because the build up to Mania is just blah. And when people see anything regarding Mania, they're just like, I'll wait till that weekend to check it out. You know what I mean? And so we got to kind of be a little more creative on some of the topics we do. And who would have thought talking about Mania wouldn't draw?
Well, if you've watched Raw the past 6 weeks, I think it would be pretty easy to tell, especially if you see the reaction to AEW on social media. But there's still a lot more to say about AEW. There's a lot of things that we could talk about in future videos. But for now, the road is to WrestleMania.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's it, man. Dude, and you can check me out on Getting Color with Big Vito as well. We record that every Sunday night at about 9 o'clock where we do it on Twitch. And then, of course, it ends up on Twitch with the full video the next day on audio. Rob and I do this thing every week. And then, like I said, him and I do the Wrestling with Virtue every 3 weeks. So that's all I got. So for Rob, for the BigVitoBrand.com, I am Virtue. We will see you next time. Thanks for watching. or so.